Welcome back, guys. A long-awaited return of the Jock Talk podcast. We got Matt, we got Brock. How we doing today, Brock?
Good. How you doing, Matt?
Hey, living a dream, one
I
day
don't
at a
think
time.
I don't think we've had a show since the old Milwaukee Bucks brought home the NBA championship.
Damn
Giannis.
right. First one in what 50 years.
I
So
believe it's 50. Yeah.
let's just hope that I don't have to wait another 50 because it'd be
It's not.
seven.
It's nice to have a winner. Every now and
Yeah,
again. Even the state of Wisconsin. Well, we've waited 10 years for a championship. 11
something
years.
like that. Which it could be worse. We could be, it could be worse. It could be worse. But
It definitely could.
I think what makes it worse as state of Wisconsin sports fans is that we've seen so much disappointment from really good teams either failing to live up to expectations or falling just short of expectations, aka the Packers the last handful of years. So
NFC championships. Just appearance in the NFC championships is not enough.
Not enough.
Well, that being said, we're jumping right into the Packers offseason. Family night was just the other night.
It was.
Did you get to see any of it?
I did not. I was at work, I believe, for that one. But 35,000 people into Lambeau in the pouring rain. Yeah, it was a nasty last few days here in Wisconsin. But didn't get to see any of it. Read up on it, seen some highlights. See some top performers. Some people have never heard of before making some plays. Some of the the usual names stepping up and making some plays too. So.
Yep.
You hear the news though? There's some quarterback that's back in town.
Oh, Mr. Karen Rodgers, as people like to call him.
Sounds about right.
Karen.
He looks goofy. He got his long
long
hair.
He went in reverse. He's back into rookie second year form. So
goofy looking Aaron Rodgers.
Let's hope he doesn't play like the second year form.
Let's
go back to last year MVP.
Damn right. So Aaron Rodgers is back for one more year, at least. I think I can't imagine that he's back after this year. If the Packers win the Super Bowl, Brian Gutekunst gives Aaron the reins some more, maybe. But you've heard rumors all offseason, obviously. Oh, Aaron Rodgers is going to retire. Oh, Aaron Rodgers is going to host Jeopardy. No. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers for at least one more year. And you know what that means? We have Aaron Rodgers. That means we're legitimate Super Bowl contenders.
Absolutely.
With Jordan Love, we're, division winners, wild card range, I think. But with Aaron Rodgers, Super Bowl contenders instantly.
Absolutely. And then we bring back Randall Cobb. Yes, he might not be that top tier superstar, but Randy coming back really helps Aaron probably a little bit more than most slot receivers that we had. We have a rookie in Amari Rodgers, which everybody is high on right now. Me being one of them. I think Randall Cobb. I know Randall Cobb and Amari Rodgers are like friends, mentors. Yeah, they were
from the same area.
Yeah, Randall Cobb's dad was Amari Rodgers' coach or something along those lines. Yeah. So they have ties there, so that helps him. So I think ultimately bringing Randall Cobb back, not only does it help Aaron, it helps Amari Rodgers and the rest of that wide receiving group, which is still pretty young, Yeah. So, Devontae's on a big contract year. I think we expect to bring him back. So, the team's there. Defensively, sounds like they're getting better. Joe Barry coming in with a new system and hopefully can get these guys playing to their full potential. Eric Stokes has been having a good camp so far as what we've been hearing and seeing.
Jair, except for when he's getting burnt by Devontae, but everybody gets burnt by Devontae. Yeah. So
except Jair. A lot of news from Packers camp that Jair was really playing tight on Devontae in the family night, knocking some balls away that Devontae normally catches, and Rodgers puts in the perfect position. So just to see him continuing to step up and solidifying that top 2, not number 2 corner in the league, yeah. I think that's big. And just hopefully this chemistry with this team gets back to where we need it to be, because this offseason has been crazy. A lot of headlines for Packers fans that we aren't usually used to seeing. So we get the drama this year. But I think Coach Matt LaFleur really has control of this team. Maybe not so much Gutekunst, and people don't like him on that part. But I think the coaching staff and everybody will get these guys playing at that Super Bowl contending level come week 1.
Yeah, speaking of Super Bowl, we mentioned it a little bit earlier, how long of a wait it's been for Wisconsin sports fan. We'd be terrible, terrible people if we didn't mention a shout out, because obviously he's listening, but shout out old Chuck, Charles Woodson, first ballot Hall of Famer. Wasn't in Green Bay very long, but I think most people would.
It seemed like he was here forever.
He's kind of got that Russell Wilson with the Badgers kind of feel, where, Russ was only there for a year. But he's one of the fan favorites for, kind of forever now. Like Chuck wasn't here for long, but he's kind of a fan favorite. So, like I said, obviously Chuck is listening. So shout out Charles Woodson, first ballot Hall of Famer. But you mentioned new defensive coordinator. Thank God, Joe Barry. He doesn't really have a good reputation.
No, he does not.
Not a lot of people know him, but he was the defensive coordinator on that 0-16 Detroit Lions team. But
the team was bad.
Yes, the talent here is tenfold of what they had there. So the big thing that I've seen in camp and from reports and everything on Twitter, and obviously everything on Twitter is true, is that they're working out the new star position, which is what they're basically going to be calling the slot corner. And they've been working out a lot of people there, which is nice, because we've seen it happen throughout last season where one guy went down, and you take someone who's strong on the outside, put him in the slot, and he struggles. But they've been working out Chandon Sullivan, they've been working out Darnell, they've been working out Jair, and then rookie from Appalachian State with the 3 names, Shamar Jean. There Charles. You go. I was going to call him St. Charles, but that's not necessary. They've been working him out there as well, and things have been, progressing pretty well. So kind of a work in progress. I think, Devondre Campbell has been getting big hype throughout the season, but the last couple of veteran middle linebackers that the Packers have signed really haven't worked out too well for us, between was it BJ Goodson and
Christian
Kirksey. They just looked old and slow. Whether that was the system or the players themselves, remains to be seen. But
another guy from camp that Aaron's been high on is the rookie Josh Myers. He said he's been taking control of that offense, especially at the center position, with a Hall of Fame quarterback behind you to give you that kind of praise. Really makes us, I think you said when we drafted him, you're like, I think it was a reach. I think we could have got him later.
Let's say Goody got a lot of shit for that pick.
Yeah, he did. But if Aaron Rodgers likes this kid as much as he does, I think we can get behind it and prove us wrong. Kind of like Elton did. We didn't really know who Elton Jenkins was, and then we knew he was a lineman. You knew he played for a decent school. Yeah. But then he came out and performed really well.
Eldgeton?
Yeah. I think is what I called him. I didn't know. But now that Josh Myers is in, hopefully it can solidify Elton at one specific position instead of 5. As great as Elton is, we need him to be solid at one position every game instead of having him bounce around.
Yeah. So pushing it back to the offensive side of the ball, we talked about it a little bit before we started, but I think last year I remember doing this show with you, and we were talking about what the Packers need for their season to go well. And I know a big one for us at that point in time was, oh, look at that, I have my notes here. They needed inside linebacker to step up, cornerback depth, and tight end to step up. I think we all thought it was going to be Sternberger last year, but lo and behold, old Indiana State boy, Robert, not Tunyon, Tunyon, like Funyun, but with a T. Stepped up big time, obviously. Got robbed out of a Pro Bowl, All-Pro nomination because Evan Ingram, for God knows what reason, was better apparently. But it goes from being a position of weakness, and we talked about this the other day, to a position of strength between the receiving options, the
blocking.
one player that Aaron Rodgers has thrown a touchdown pass to that was a first-round pick.
Big dog.
Has reinvented himself as a receiving tight end to now being one of the better blocking tight ends, even at 62 years old. In the NFL,
he's like the same. He's the same age as Aaron Rodgers, and that's crazy. But it seems like Mercedes has been playing for 82 years.
Yes. But then we talked about tight ends, a position of strength this year, and kind of receiver. I think receiver is a little bit deeper, more so than a strength. But you have guys on the roster who've been there for 2 or 3 years who you're looking at that might not make the roster this year. Finally, the Packers are going to have a decision to make whether to cut bait with guys, whether for off the field comments, Devin Funchess, or just a lack of productivity on the field. Like Equanimous has a lot of talent, and he's been good on special teams, but just being good on special teams. Yes, being good on special teams and being inconsistent doesn't guarantee you a roster spot year after year. You just kind of got to take that next step. And then, again, it all goes back to the quarterbacks. They get all the love. Nobody cares about defensive linemen or offensive linemen or DBs.
We care about offensive linemen and defensive linemen. Don't get that twisted.
All linemen matter. Jordan Love has a great practice, then a terrible practice, or a great throw and then a duck down the field, and then he follows it up with a fucking bullet down the sideline or something. So I think the jury's still out, obviously, but it's one of those things where maybe things aren't as bad as what they seemed like it was going to be, but still kind of seems like a waste of a first-round pick. But we'll see.
So far, it's looking like it. But what do you think about the Pack bringing in the twin, Mr. Dennis Kelly, looking like Bakhtiari, coming out first practice with a Bakhtiari jersey? Yep. Fool a couple beat writers.
It looks like him, and then you realize that he's like 5 inches taller. And he's like 7'4".
Yes, he is a beast of a man. Like,
you see him next to Bach, you think Bach's a big dude, and then you see Kelly next to him, like, oh my god.
Yep, Bach looks tiny.
It's a good depth signing. It's one of those things where I think the Packers have a pretty decent offensive line right now between Josh Myers, Elton Jenkins, John Runyon Jr., who every fucking mock draft we did 2 years ago, we ended up somehow with John Runyon Jr. on our team, and lo and behold, turned out to be a pretty good late round pick.
Yep.
And then Billy Turner, obviously, at right tackle, hopefully steps up a little bit, but
he had a solid game or a solid year last year. But when you're bouncing around the offensive line so much, I mean, it's so much we can ask for.
Yeah. But I think versatility is the calling card of the Packers' offensive line. You don't want that with your offensive tackles, obviously. You want them to be able to move from left to right if need be, but the interior is more where you want the versatile guys who can go from position to position. So it's a good depth signing for sure. Bach, I think last time I heard was we were looking at late September for him to potentially be back. So one of those where you may miss the first few games, and who knows, maybe he's drank enough beer at these Bucks games that it's magical healing powers.
Those Miller Lights do the body good. That's what I've heard.
Right, they do.
That's what I've heard.
I could tell you from personal experience that is true. Yes.
Well, I know we talked about this on one of our previous episodes. Who is, now that camp's officially started, who do you think are some of the guys that you want to see step up? Not necessarily what the team necessarily needs. Who do you want to see? Obviously, the team needs them to step up, but is there somebody on your radar that might make the cut that you kind of want to see make the team and get a run at some playing time, or just a player that you want to see take that next step into stardom?
Yeah, not necessarily either of those really. There's a couple guys on the roster who I was a big fan of before the Packers either drafted them, acquired them, whatever. Who I want to see step up. One of them you were made fairly aware of during the offseason because you called me pretty lit when the Packers re-signed Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
But a player I want to see step up is A.J. Dillon.
Yep.
I think he deserves a bigger role. He's not going to take, I don't think, as much of that Jamal role. I think Aaron Jones obviously is going to have, if it was a 70-30 or 60-40 last year, maybe it's a 70-30 this year instead. But A.J. Dillon, I want to see step up.
I think the red zone gets taken over by A.J. Dillon this
year. I sure as hell
maybe
hope
inside
so.
the 10.
When you have a guy who's 247 pounds or 237 pounds, whatever the hell he is, and he runs the way he runs, give him the ball inside the red zone or goal line carries. And then other guys, I think, is a combination of it's for the better of the team / I kind of like them. They're young linebackers. I know it looks like Randy Ramsey had a pretty significant injury, unfortunately, the other day. But Chris Barnes is another one. I want to see him step up big. I liked him a lot last year. Super athletic.
Saw a lot of flashes out of those young linebackers last year, but again, young. But
Packers haven't had a good off-ball or inside linebacker in young AJ Hawk.
You're gonna put blasphemous.
Sorry, Bob Martinez.
On good old Blake Martinez, sideline to sideline linebacker. That is absolute blasphemous. You don't even mention his name. We apologize. Yeah. I apologize for him. That is absolute asinine.
Yes. And then the last guy is a guy I was high on coming out of the draft, so it's partially to save my own ass, partially because I think it's for the betterment of the team, obviously, if you have players step up. But Josh Jackson.
Come on.
I wanted him in the first round.
We needed
him in the first round, and they passed on him in the first round just to get him in the second round. But, for me to save my own skin, I've been pretty good actually with my draft pick calls in the past few years. That's one of my big downsides. But yeah, Josh Jackson, for me at least, is that third guy. What about you? Who we got?
I definitely, you definitely hit on a couple of them, like Dillon. I think we talked about last year. Even when Jamal was there, we're like, give the ball to AJ Dillon inside the 5. Why not? So absolutely AJ Dillon. Me, defensive guy. I think I want to see this guy step up into stardom. Darnell Savage. I think he's got that potential. He's just a ball hawk, is what I've been seeing and hearing through Packers camp so far. Is he is right there. It's just that we need to get that extra step out of him this year, and I think his preparation with Amos I think will elevate his career to another level.
I was just gonna say if his instincts matched up to his athleticism, He would be an all-pro safety.
It's right there. He's what, this is year 3 now. I think this is the year that it could be that year that just clicks for him, and we see a 4 or 5 interception year out of him, which is a very solid year. Even if he has to drop down into that nickel corner, we know he can, because he has the speed to cover almost every single slot receiver in the game. Yeah, definitely him. I mean, I want to see Eric Stokes succeed, because I just ultimately don't want Kevin King on the other side being a liability. but I think it's you hit on a lot of key positions. I think our D-line, I think Preston Smith needs to step up, because he even called himself out. So I respect that. He said, I did not have a good year, and I took a pay cut because I want to better the team. So I will respect that. I hope he really goes back to year 1 Green Bay Packer. Pressures every quarterback every half the time he's out there. You could go across the line and say Rashawn Gary, Dean Lowry needs to step up. Kenny Clark needs to be consistent. Zadarius, I mean, he's been a beast.
Montavious.
Slayton, TJ Slayton had a big, I believe he intercepted J Love in practice and ran it back for 6. So big man pick 6.
Yep, big old strong boy.
Yeah, there's the love for the big men. We have the depth, I believe, almost pretty much at every position. If you look at it, there's a couple weaknesses at linebacker, but if we keep we stay healthy and the youth at linebacker really plays to their potential, I think we have a very, very solid Super Bowl caliber team. And I'm getting excited day by day watching
preseason football.
Preseason football, exactly. I mean, it's still football.
Packers gonna whoop the shit out of the Texans. Jordan Love's gonna have like 300 yards passing in the first half.
I hope so. That'd be pretty awesome. Hopefully, my baby girl will be here before Packers week 1, because I need to be home to watch it.
Obviously.
I will watch it at the hospital if need be.
I'll keep you updated.
No, I'll help you watching on my phone. But you got anything else, Matt? I think we wrapped up the whole Green Bay offseason to this point, outside of talking about Aaron Rodgers, because I think everybody's sick of hearing about that.
Yeah. Well, let me get your honest opinion. Like, let's say 30 seconds here.
Okay.
If, let's say the Packers, let's say they don't win the Super Bowl this year. Let's just broad blanket. And that they could miss the playoffs. They could lose in the NFC Championship game. Let's just say they don't win the Super Bowl.
Okay.
If you are the Packers GM, do you trade Aaron Rodgers no matter what?
It's tough. I think it ultimately depends on Aaron. You want to see what he wants to do, because he is your guy. Because if he says I'm done with the Green Bay Packers, you're done with him. You try to get rid of him. But if he's like, I want to be a Green Bay Packer for life, you make it happen.
Okay.
I think he's done everything in his career here. Outside of this year, he has had like no controversy, no media, whatever. He's been loyal to this team. He loves the city, loves the team, and just why not give him what he wants? I mean, you see the Tom Brady's of the world. You see Patrick Mahomes getting the input on their team on what certain moves to make and certain players to maybe target. And if that's what Aaron Rodgers wants, I don't see why you don't do that, because he's your guy for 17 years. You give him a little bit of say, or at least let him be in the room. Let him have his 2 cents. You might ultimately make the decision, but I would just always hear what he has to say about it.
Well, from the sounds of things, if they've taken his 2 cents into consideration these last few years, they just haven't followed any of his wishes, advice, however you want to word it.
But from the interview or the press conference that we've seen, I don't think they've done that at all, except this Randall Cobb situation.
So, all right. We'll leave it at that. We'll pick it up next time. We'll talk to you guys a lot sooner than 2 months down the road. We got NFL preseason coming up this weekend. Obviously, a ton of people are going to overreact from the preseason, but who knows? You're going to find a Russell Wilson or a Dak Prescott. You're going to see that guy come out this weekend. So, with that being said, obviously, like you said, we got the Packers coming up against the Texans this Saturday or Sunday, I believe.
I don't even know.
But, I don't know if the game's in Green Bay or in Houston, but you're going to hear that Go Pack Go in the crowd regardless.
Oh,
that's
absolutely.
exactly the way that we like to end our shows, Brock. You ready for it? We got time to sum one up. Okay. Good. All right. We're gonna end it with a Go Pack Go.
That's pretty good.
All right. It sounded terrible in my headset, but
great in
right.
mine.
So, all right. Until next time,